All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 4 of 4 into 'em, and I guess it's kind of special because it's episode number 4, and you probably get it already, but man, crazy weekend. First of all, I want to congratulate the Houston Astros on winning the World Series again. World Series champs, baby. World Series champs. If you follow me on social media, you probably already saw that I had an incredible night on Saturday. Saturday was game 6 around noon. I got a phone call from the homie Sambo. Sambo is the father and manager of my other homie, Sam Knight. Very, 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 very talented artist that was introduced to me through Baby Bash, the big homie Baby Bash. And we've made some music since then. We got a banger of a song together called Had To. That's probably gonna come out here fairly soon in the nearish future. But so I got a phone call from Sambo, and he said, hey, if the Astros win tonight, we're dropping a song with Paul Wall, and we're going to be shooting a video outside of the stadium tonight. You should come through. And I said, that's a bet, bro. I'll come through. So I stayed at home until it was about the 5th inning, and I said, you know what? I got a good feeling about the Stros tonight. I think the score was 1-1. I don't remember what the score was when I left 4 downtown, but I just had a good feeling about it. So I went downtown and met with Sambo down like a block away from Minute Maid. And then as the Astros were winning, as the 9th inning was ticking down and things were wrapping up, we went down to Minute Maid and stood outside of Minute Maid, and it was electric, bro. I can't explain how amazing of a feeling that was to be outside of Minute Maid when the Astros won the World Series. You know, I'm from a small town in Nebraska, so to be in the middle of a city when one of its sports teams is winning something like that is amazing, especially after all of the controversy and hate that the Astros have had to put up with the past couple years, you know. I feel like the whole world won't let them be great, you know, and they're saying, oh, they cheated, they were banging on trash cans, but it's also like, bro, like, that's a very mild form of cheating, and I'm not saying it's right, and I'm not excusing it and whatever, but bro, like, it could have been so much worse. Y'all act like they were, you know, taking steroids or something, which when the whole steroid scandal happened, everybody was taking steroids, and y'all still love and appreciate those people. So to see the Astros win it again, you know, and prove like, nah, we didn't win because we were cheating. We win because we fucking win. That was an amazing thing to see, bro. That was amazing. And then it hit me when I was standing out there. Paul Wall came out of the stadium, and Sam Knight and Paul Wall started shooting the video for How About Them Stros, which, by the way, is out now on SoundCloud. It's on Bruce Bang's SoundCloud. It's actually on all platforms now, I think. It's on Apple Music for sure, but y'all go check out How About Them Stros by Paul Wall and Sam Knight. Great song. Based on another great song called Count My Spokes, which also has the homie Baby Bash on it. It's got GT Garza on it, produced by Bruce Bang. Anyways, it hit me while I was standing there. I'm standing there next to Paul Wall, and we're singing How About Them Stros, How About Them Stros, How About Them. We're all singing that shit, and I'm just like, bro, this is like a new core memory. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit was just standing outside of Minute Maid with Paul Wall after the Astros won the World Series. Like, those are the moments that you live for, you know, or that I live for. Like, that shit was incredible, man. Yeah, one of my top 10 moments since moving to Houston for sure. Maybe top 5. Like, that shit was incredible. So shout out to Paul Wall, shout out to Sam Knight, shout out to Bruce Bang, their videographer D Will, Clutch, who's part of the video team. Everybody who made that possible, and everybody who I spent Saturday night with, that was amazing, man. I appreciate y'all for being a part of it, and I appreciate the city of Houston so much, man. I'm not from this city. I grew up in Nebraska, but I moved down here at 18, and I've been living down here for the better part of the last, 9, 10 years. So I love this city, bro. I really do. I love Houston. I love how diverse it is. I love everything that they've got to offer. What did I want to talk about today, man? I guess I went into this without anything set. Like, I'm going to talk. I knew I wanted to talk about the Stros and the experience with Paul Wall and Sam Knight. Sambo. Shout out to Sambo, too, by the way. Thank you for the invite, bro. That was an amazing experience. Other than that, man, I've been trying to do better lately. As far as just taking care of myself goes, my diet, exercise, all of that. But last night I fucked up, bro. Last night I had a studio session that lasted till like after midnight, and then when that studio session got done, I was so hungry, bro, and I'm holding myself to this no added sugar diet, so I couldn't go get like fast food or something like that. So, and the grocery stores are closed, so I went to the gas station. I went to 7-Eleven, and I bought a can of nacho cheese and a box of frozen taquitos, and I ate the taquito. And I actually bought some chicken nuggets too, but then when I got home, I realized the chicken nuggets were like 2 months expired. So shout out to 7-Eleven for that. And I had a big-ass bag of Takis here at the crib already, and I ate a bunch of taquitos and a bunch of Takis and nacho cheese for dinner, and I feel like absolute dog shit today, bro. I'm so mad at myself for doing that. I've been trying to do better, though. I put the vape down. I haven't been vaping. You know, I smoke cigars here and there, but I don't want to be bound to anything like that. Vaping, cigars. I used to smoke cigarettes. I put down the cigarettes, started vaping, and then I realized like it's the same shit. If anything, it might even be worse. You know what I mean? So I just been trying to take care of myself, man. I think it's very important to take care of ourselves, and that was something that was never really taught to me when I was younger. I mean, I come from a family full of extremely unhealthy habits, all types of different habits, you know, like some people in my family are obese. Some people, a lot of them smoke cigarettes. Some people in my family drink real bad. Like everybody in my family has their vices and their bad habits, and now I'm starting to see all of those bad habits catch up with everybody. And I don't I don't want that to be me, you know what I mean? So I'm really trying hard right now to because I've treated my body horribly over the past 10, 15 years, since I was probably like 13, 14. I've eaten bad, smoked cigarettes and weed, everything you can think, every done drugs, you know, exos and thiz and acid and whatever else. Like I experimented with almost everything, you know, like thank God I never got into any bad drugs, never got into pills, never got into heroin, meth, crack, never got into anything like that. But everything shy of that I've done, you know what I mean? And I feel like, you know, I had my time, I had my run with that, but it's time to really take care of this body, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm trying to do, at least. It's hard, though. The hardest thing for me is just diet. Diet and sleep are the two very hard things for me. But I've been trying to put my dopamine in check, man. And it's making it hard to make music, because making music, I feel like it's my creative process is so reliant on dopamine, and that balance of dopamine, getting that balance of dopamine is crucial to making good art. It really is. Even like, at least, I don't know. I don't want to, like I said in episode 2, I don't want to sound too preachy or like a know-it-all. So I'm going to just say, for me personally, finding that perfect balance of dopamine is everything when it comes to making art. You know, if you're too depressed, then you're not motivated enough to make good art. You don't care about making it good, you know? And if you're too happy, too ecstatic, then you're not hard enough on yourself about the art, and you make shitty art. You got to have that perfect balance of dopamine to where you're down enough that you're critical of yourself and you make something dope, and you can tap into you can tap deep into yourself to find that dope creativity, that dope art that's inside of you. But you got to be up enough that you're motivated to do it and that you want to do it and you have some type of hope. And it's a very hard balance for me to maintain. It's always been like that. You know what I mean? I've always felt like I've gone back and forth, even with like smoking weed and how smoking weed affects creativity, because it's the craziest thing. Like when I first started out, I couldn't really freestyle unless I was high, you know, and I don't even think it was like an inhibition thing. I think it was just the way that my brain put together ideas and words it was a lot easier to do when I was high or drunk. If I was drinking, like when I was a teenager, like 14, 15, if I was drinking, then I could freestyle all day, because it made me a lot more comfortable with it, I guess. And if I was smoking, I could freestyle even better and even longer, you know? And then as I got older, I start realizing like, okay, when I smoke sometimes, I'm not as motivated. Like I can put the ideas together well, but I have no ambition to do so. And so my whole life has just kind of been trying to find that perfect dopamine balance and trying to get in that zone of, you know, being grounded enough to be in touch with my emotions and make relatable art, but at the same time being high enough, and I don't mean high in the sense of drugs, I just mean high in the sense of my emotional state, being high enough that I'm motivated and ambitious and want to create dope art. You know what I mean? It's such a weird balance to try to achieve and so hard to do. But it also makes me realize why, you know, we look at artists, big artists like, you know, your Kendricks and Coles and who else does it? Drake and whoever else, and we look at them and we see them when they're in album mode, right? And they got their hair grown out, they haven't shaved their beard, they're, you know, they might get a little fat, things like that. And it's because I think it's because these artists are so disciplined and dedicated for so long that when they go into album mode, they chase that dopamine. They stop fighting. They stop trying to be so disciplined, so that they can focus that energy and that discipline into making music. And the older I get, just the more I realize how that kind of works and how we can bargain with ourselves and get results that we want, but you can't have everything. You know, everybody wants to be healthy and motivated and look good and feel good and make great art and be creative, but you can't have everything all at once. You know, sometimes it's a give and take. Sometimes you might have to sacrifice your health for your happiness, or sometimes you might have to and I don't mean health. I think long term you need to be healthy to be happy, but I just mean if you want to eat, you know, some fried foods, that fried food will make you feel good in the moment, you know, but in the long term it might make you feel worse. So sometimes you just gotta make those sacrifices. And I had somebody tell me, I think it was 2 days ago, I had somebody tell me like that I was psychoanalyzing things too much, you know, because I was talking about my relationship with dopamine, and I was talking about quitting vaping and just paying attention to the psychological effects that I feel from it. And this person told me, like, you're psychoanalyzing things too much, like you're thinking about it way too hard, you need to just let go. But the whole thing with me is like I spent the last 15 years flooding my brain with dopamine, like stupid amounts of dopamine. Like that's all I did is chase dopamine, to the point where my baseline for dopamine is way up here. Like I don't find joy in a lot of basic things anymore, you know, because I spent so long, like all day. Number one, I'm on my phone constantly. I'm on my phone like 12 hours a day at least. And And that's just dopamine after dopamine after dopamine. All these social media posts and all this shit, that's all it is just dopamine. And it's so hard to escape, especially when you want to be in tune and you want to communicate with your fan base and keep in touch with people. So you have to keep using these apps. But then these apps are designed to just wreck your dopamine system. And so I spent the last 15 years just doing that, just wrecking my dopamine system with drugs, with tobacco products, with alcohol, with weed, with social media, and with music itself. Making music itself is very taxing on the dopamine system. And so now I almost feel like I have to be militant with my brain. I have to be militant with dopamine. And so I disagree with that person that said that I'm being too psychoanalytical about myself. And I see what they mean, because I'm not a doctor and I don't fully understand this shit. But I do see connective tissue in some of these things that I'm doing. You know, I'm on day 22, 23. I'd have to check my phone, but I'm on day 22 or 23 of no weed. And it doesn't mean that I think weed is bad. Like, I'm still going to go back to smoking weed at some point, but I need to be able to control it better. Because, like, for the past 15 years, all I did is just smoke weed every chance I got. Wake up in the morning, smoke weed. Smoke weed before I eat lunch. After lunch, I smoke weed again. And so now I need to just be very, not cautious, but aware of what I'm doing with my brain, because I end up just chasing this dopamine, and my brain is functioning like a drug addict's, even though I'm not using addictive drugs necessarily. Like, I mean, I guess caffeine and nicotine. Well, I'm trying to quit that too, but I guess these things are all addictive. But what I'm saying is I'm not using like substances like pills and stuff like that. I'm not a drug addict in that sense, but mentally I'm functioning the same way as a drug addict, because I'm still chasing that dopamine, whether it's through social media or through, you know, sex or through music or whatever. All day long I'm chasing that dopamine. The only difference between me and like a crackhead is just like the crackhead's chasing that dopamine from the crack, and I'm not chasing that dopamine from one source, but all day every day I'm just chasing the dopamine, and it affects my decision making, and it affects my self-worth, and it affects my perception of the world and everything, you know. So right now I'm trying to put my dopamine in check. That's what I'm really trying to do. And it's hard, bro. And it's especially hard in the industry that I'm in, because if I want to pay my bills, if I want to make progress in my career, if I want my business to prosper, then I need to be online. I need to be creating music. I need to be doing all of these things that are essentially dopamine traps, which just means that I need to be that much more dedicated and aware of my dopamine levels outside of those things. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm already gonna be and I probably sound like a fucking idiot trying to describe this with dopamine, because I'm not a doctor and I don't know the exact terms that I should be using. But what I'm saying is, like, music and content creation and all of this shit is very self-indulgent to begin with. So if I'm going to be extremely self-indulgent for a living and as a career, then I need to make sure that other areas of my life balance that out. I need to make sure that I'm very dedicated and focused, and I need to have a lot of willpower in other areas when it comes to, you know, using drugs. And I don't just mean like hard drugs. I mean weed, I mean nicotine, I mean caffeine. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I can't go off the deep end with everything all at once. And for a long time, that's what I was doing. So I'm just learning how to be better, baby. I mean, I'm not perfect still, and I'm still just an idiot trying to find his way, but I'm learning little by little, you know? Maybe by the time I'm like 50 or 60 or something, I can finally say I have life figured out. But by then it'll just be new problems that I'm realizing I have that I didn't realize I had before, you know? So I'm trying to find a balance, man. And it's really hard. It's really hard, but I'm slowly learning things and I'm having breakthroughs, and it feels amazing, bro. Like I said, I've been cutting way back on all of these things that make me feel good, but the end result is that my baseline for feeling good is coming way down. So I'm starting to be able to enjoy a lot of simple things in life again. A couple days ago, I was driving and listening to music, just some old songs. One of the songs I was listening to was "Put On" by Jeezy and Kanye, and I was riding listening to that song, and I just remember thinking, like, I fucking love this song. Like, it felt so good. I was completely sober, just driving, had the windows down. I had Put On blaring, and I was just like, this song is so good, bro. It felt like the first time I ever tasted cheesecake, or the first time I ever had sex or some shit. It felt amazing, like euphoric almost. And I think that's why, is because I'm starting to bring my dopamine back to baseline, and I'm starting to be able to enjoy the little things in life. And that could be wrong, you know? Like, I don't know for sure that that's what happened, but it could be placebo effect. It could just be all in my head, but whatever it is, I feel like it's working, and it's changing me as a person for the better. And that's something I just want to continue to do, you know? So, man, what else been going on? Got some new music coming out here soon. Shout out to everybody who's been rocking with me, who's been supporting the music on Spotify, Apple Music. We're about to hit 2,000 followers on Spotify. Man, it feels that all feels amazing. You know what I mean? Trying to think of what else has been going on. Just been living, man. I got some new music with reggae band, dope ass reggae band called Audic Empire, coming out here soon. Executive produced by Baby Bash. Audic Empire just held down the #1 spot for a period of time on the iTunes reggae album charts. So congratulations to them. Their album is called Start to the End. I've jammed it a few times front to back already. At least twice, probably 2.5 times I've jammed that album front to back. It's a great album through and through, and they're great dudes, man. I've had a lot of fun watching them perform. I've shared the stage with them at least once, maybe twice, and I've seen them perform a handful of times. They always put on a great show. Yeah, man. So I guess that's what I'm really focused on right now, though. I guess that's what this episode's about, is just getting your dopamine in check, and I'm just learning how to be more disciplined. And it's hard, bro. It's fucking hard. And I've always considered myself a pretty strong-willed person, but man, when you're trying to when especially in an industry like this that promotes, it's the entertainment industry, and entertainment goes hand in hand with just promoting dopamine. Like, everywhere we go, it's promoting drinking, it's promoting smoking, it's promoting sex, it's promoting all of these things that ultimately make us feel worse in the end. You know, not necessarily. They make us feel better in the moment, but too much of it will make us feel worse. You know what I mean? So, but when it's your job to promote that, when it's your job to be in that fast life, then it's hard. It's easy to lose your grip sometimes. You know, so yeah. Other than that, man, just been working, I guess, you know, cooking these beats up. Sold a lot of beats over the past few days. Been selling hella merch. Y'all head over to stillgringo.com/shop to check out what merch we got left. It's not a lot. And y'all head out to stillgringo.com/beats to check out the beats I got. Exclusives ranging from $50 to $150. And I got some gas on there, man. I got some heaters on there. Yeah, man. So I guess we could keep this one short and sweet for today. You know, I don't have a whole lot more. I'm probably gonna get off of here and think of 20 more things that I wanted to talk to y'all about. But for now, I'll let it be at that. But I appreciate everybody's support. How about them Stros, baby? Shout out to the Houston Astros, World Series champions. Shout out to my boy Sam Knight. Shout out to Paul Walsh. They got a dope new record out. And I'll come back tomorrow. We'll talk about something else, man. I appreciate y'all. Much love.